We all know that NVIDIA and Supermicro and AMD and Micron and even SYM are able to sell everything they can make at this point. And they're selling it at outrageous prices, and they're making outrageous earnings. NVIDIA is projecting their earnings will be up 288% in 2024 and then 90% in 2025. SMCI earnings up 84% in 24 and 37 in 25. And then you've got Micron, who's actually lost money in 23, will lose money, but less money, and their earnings will go up by 91%. And then in 2025, they're projecting they'll go up by 1,813%. Well, in the way I think is if you have something that I want, and I'm willing to pay an outrageous price for it, it's only because I believe I can make more money with it after buying it from you than you can with you keeping it. So it's more valuable to me than it is to you. So I ask myself the question then, if NVIDIA and Supermicro and Micron are all exploding, well, who's spending the money to buy this from them with the anticipation that they can turn it into something even better, something even more valuable? So it's that old proverb, follow the money. Who's buying all this product? So what I did was I thought, well, I've got these 34 companies that I believe are going to be in the best position to take advantage of this new chip that NVIDIA, this GPU that they've developed, and these other companies are helping them develop, and they're rebuilding these data centers. Who's the big winner at the end? Well, it's going to be the guy who's buying the chip. Okay, so all I got to do is figure out who's buying the chip. So how do you do that? Well, you go through everybody's books and you see who's spending the most money. Well, that's what I've done. I've gone through their books. I have a service that I subscribe to. It's called Wise Sheets, and it plugs into my Google Sheets. And I merely ask it, who's spending all the money in research and development in the last quarter? In other words, who's buying NVIDIA's chips? Who's buying Supermicro's computers? And if I know that, then I know who the next big winners are. Stick with me. I'll share you my information, my research, and then I'll tell you where you can go so that you can buy these companies at their right prices. Because what's happening is all the fervor is going on around NVIDIA and Supermicro and Micron and SYM and some of the others. Nobody's paying attention to who's spending all the money. Nobody's paying attention, and their prices are going down because the money is moving towards where the action is, not where the action will be. It's kind of like, don't skate to the puck, skate to where the puck is going. And that's what I want to share with you today, where that damn puck's going, okay? This is not financial advice. This is Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I've got COVID. I'm in my 8th day. I only have so many hours a morning that I can devote to this, but let me show you what I found.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
Okay, so the first question I ask myself is, what is the purpose of this GPUs and this processing memory power and all that? What's the purpose of it? Well, it's processing data. Okay, well, who has the most data? Well, that was easy. That's Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Meta. They have the most data. So they are the biggest buyers. I think Jensen has even kind of alluded to his biggest buyer last quarter was Meta. So those are no brainers. So and oddly enough, their prices are coming down because the attention is all going to, don't want to miss out, going to NVIDIA and Supermacro and some of those others. But right now, Google and Apple in particular, and some of Microsoft and Amazon are pulling back just because the attention is going elsewhere. So then what I said was, okay, who else in my bus 12 portfolio, who else might be spending a lot of money with Jensen and Charles? And so I went in and again went to the Wise books and Seeking Alpha, and I went through their books and I said, all right, who has spent the most percentage-wise of their last year's revenues on research and development? Because that's where it's going to show up on their income statement. And here's some of the companies I looked at. I looked at Intel, Snowflake, which is I've done some videos on, Palantir, which I know a lot of you own, Salesforce, Tesla, which I know a lot of you own, and CrowdStrike. And I said, okay, this is their revenue. This is their R&D expenditure, and what percentage of their revenue last year did they spend on research and development? And here's what I came up with. It looks like the average is somewhere in the neighborhood of 14%. Google's at 14, Microsoft's at 12, Amazon's at 15, Apple's at 8. That kind of surprised me. Meta's at 27. That's what Jensen told us, that his biggest buyer was Mark. Look at Intel. 30% of their revenues, and granted, their revenues are nowhere near what the others above them are, but they spent 30% of their revenue on research and development. You need to take note of that. Snowflake. I've done 3 videos on that in the last week. They spent 46%. I also told you in a prior video they're hiring more people. This is the company that is waking up and saying, we're going to invest today in tomorrow, and we're going all in. Snowflake is something you really need to dig into. Palantir, not as much. I would have thought them similar, 18%. Salesforce, 14%. Tesla, this surprised me, only 4%. Now, maybe Tesla says, we've got all the research and development. We don't need any more. We're already ahead of the game. I don't know. And then CrowdStrike, I'm looking for a company that I believe is going to be a major player in cybersecurity. And so that's what theirs are. Now, there are probably, I've got another 15, 20 companies that I'm going to do a similar research on, and I'll share that with you on my website, because I think this is insightful. Again, we fall into the trap of fear of missing out. And so everybody right now is focusing. I think Supermicro's up something like 26% today. So that's where all the fervor is about. And nobody is paying attention as to who is buying all of Supermacro's computers? Who bought all of Dell's computers for their data centers? This is where all this money is going so that it can deliver us the next stage. And the people spending the money are the people who are saying those assets, those computers, those CPUs, those GPUs can make me more money than they can make for NVIDIA and Supermacro. I want them in my data center so that I can make more money for my company and my stockholders. And I think what I'm showing you here is don't look at what, again, go back to Wayne Gretzky's, do not skate to the puck, because the puck's on the move. And right now, the puck is who's buying all of Jensen's GPUs and will be buying all of AMD's GPUs, and who's buying all of Supermacro's computers. That's the next big winner. That's how you need to invest. That's how I invest. I don't worry about what's happening today because that's history in the next minute. What's important is who's spending this money, who's got the money, who has basically set up and said, if we don't do this, we're irrelevant. We're irrelevant because this world is moving so fast. And we got a choice. Do we wave and say goodbye, or do we get on the train and spend, what is it? Who is the biggest spender? It looks like Google at $43 billion out of their $307 billion revenue last year, 14%. As a percentage-wise, Meta. Do you need to know any more? This is so much fun because it's not about, again, Wayne Gretzky's going to go down in history as skate to where the puck is going. And the puck is going to these companies, and I'll share with you more of what I find on my website. My website is Best of Us Investors. We have a sale going on right now. We're inviting you to try our Platinum platform where you share in all of this research and you get then also where should I buy Google? I bought some Google today. I bought some Apple today because the attention is on the puck right now, and the puck is NVIDIA and Supermacro. You want to go to where the puck is going. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. I hope I can get through this COVID pretty damn quick.